Sky Squad, we are back in the building and we got to talk about a little bit of Housewives news. Okay. We're going to get into that plus Belle Collective. So listen, get on in here and let's get into the tea. Is Kelly Farrell going to just be a friend of the show? I mean, I was actually worried about Drew, but is Kelly's peach in danger? I don't know. We're gonna get into that in this report from the Jasmine brand in just 1 second. Y'all, I gotta tell you this. I gotta tell you this. We have just one more spot left. I'm like a little bit shook right now because it's been about 24 hours, a little more than 24 hours. And we are at the point now where I have one more spot. So if you were thinking that you wanted to go on this trip to Bali with us, September 28th through October the 5th, go ahead and tap in. I will place the link in the chat for anybody who is thinking that you've been wanting to go, you've been thinking you want to do it, you've been on the fence about it. I have one more spot left. Just the one. I mean, this thing went that fast. So tap on in and, we'll start the group chat in a little bit so we can get you all prepared for the trip. But yeah, it's crazy how fast that went. So it's a full week in Bali. The itinerary is there. All of the information is there for you guys to look at. Okay. So now let's get back to the biz. Now, all right, Kelly. Oh, Kelly. Let's talk about it. So, let me put your chat on the screen real quick. Listen, I'm trying to tell them. I'm trying to tell them if they know, they know. Thank you so much. You look like such a vibe on these trips. We are the vibe on the trips. It's it's amazing. It's amazing. All right. So let's get into it. Shout out to our friends over at the Jasmine brand for this. So they say that, well, the headline reads season 17 cast revealed Kelly Farrell could be friend of the show along with Cynthia Bailey. So Bravo is allegedly reshuffling the Peaches once again as the Real Housewives of Atlanta heads into season 17 with a mix of returning veterans and notable exits. According to Just Jared, several familiar faces are officially locked in. Of course, some of these we've already known, right? Portia Williams returning full time, continuing her on again, off again journey with the franchise. Phaedra is back full time. Drew Sidora and Shamir are set to remain cast members. All right. So that's four right there. Angela Oakley and Kelly Farrell are expected back, though Farrell's role may shift between full time and friend of. Cynthia Bailey is returning in a friend of capacity officially. And teasing the upcoming drama, she said, I got a little bit of smoke and had to give a little bit of smoke back. She added that she's not off limits, noting that being around the group means that you're around enough to catch a couple of strays. Of course, we know Kenya Moore has confirmed that as of now, it's a no for her, right? We know what's going on with that. She also later issued an apology. We already know about all that. Britt Edie, no Sherelle, no Sheree. I'm thinking about Sherelle Duncan from Love and Marriage for some reason. Um, and Nene Leakes reported talks ultimately fell through. So we kind of knew most of these things. And so there's not a lot of new information here, except for this piece about Kelly Farrell potentially being a friend of the show. And I would have to wonder if that is because Kelly has so much going on with her ex-husband and these lawsuits that I wonder if that in any way, shape, or form is impacting her. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The camera might be frozen. I'm still working on a fix for StreamYard. So if the camera is frozen, it kind of goes in and out. So I apologize to y'all for that. Listen, I have been exploring different options over the past few days, and I'm just trying to find one that actually works best. So stand by on that and stick with me. If you can hear me, it'll be back in shortly. It just StreamYard is just if you guys are into the streaming world, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all don't use StreamYard. It is the pits, the absolute pits. Rob says it's happening on all the other channels as well. Yeah, it is. It is no bueno. It is absolutely no bueno. And it's crazy because as long as we've been using this software, I've been using this for years. Years. Yes, it is a complete fool. So I was checking, I've tried Riverside. I don't kind of really like their output. I was also checking out Ecamm, but I cannot there's some tech issues that I'm experiencing with that. Next, it's gonna be OBS. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, anytime you pull something up, it just freezes. All right, so let's get into the K Michelle of it all. So obviously for me, there could be listen, with K Michelle and Pinky Cole, you guys know Pinky Cole is the founder of Slutty Vegan. So with K Michelle coming into this, especially because she is married, and I'm gonna tell you guys, Bravo loves married couples for this franchise. They do. They absolutely do. They love married couples for the Housewives shows. So to me, it's honestly not a big surprise that Kelly could potentially be demoted because of a lack of being able to show certain aspects of her life if they're not present. See, Drew has a little bit more history with this show, so I could see them foregoing Kelly for her. And Drew has pretty much been very consistent with what she does show and what she does not show. And for me, the argument can be made that Drew to me does not show enough, or that they don't show enough of what she actually displays. But I think because Drew has so much tenure on the show and her interconnectedness with the ladies, it would make sense that Drew is also in the mix. I love Drew. Let me say that, by the way. I'm just saying I love Drew, but I could see potentially why if you wanted to put her as a friend, I could see that happening. Would I want that? No, but could I see it based on certain things that we saw last season? Yeah. The most obvious choice would be that it could be Kelly. Again, she's got the lawsuits going on. She's not that integrated with the group. She's mostly Shamia's friend, it felt like. So I could see that. And Phaedra, I mean not Phaedra, but Portia is really truly honestly like the face of the show right now. That's really, I mean, that's the bottom line. What I did enjoy about Kelly was Kelly did put a lot of effort into her events. I would actually say probably it felt like she did more than Drew in terms of the amount of events she threw. She had a lot. I mean, she did a lot. She did a lot. So I would hate to lose that element unless maybe she didn't do a lot this season. Because again, sometimes you could only be as good as your previous season or your current season, I should say. But let's talk about the inclusion of K Michelle and Pinky Cole. When you've got someone like a K Michelle coming into the mix, that's a big personality. And one could argue that her personality is, I mean, I don't want to say it's on par with the Portia, but K Michelle is so outspoken, she could be potentially way more outspoken than Portia. I mean, I'm just saying. I, we do enjoy Portia's personality. She's fun, she's effervescent. But K Michelle is something else. That K Michelle is something else. So we'll see how that translates. But I knew that if you're going to be including K Michelle, Pinky Cole, and I believe Pinky Cole is also married, not to say that, listen, there's nothing wrong with being single on these shows. But when you look at the dynamics of what I know that Bravo typically loves and what we all know what they're looking for. We know that. You've got Shamia who is married, you got Angela who is married, and that's pretty much it when you look at the cast as it stands right now. So you would want to have a K Michelle who has can showcase her marriage or a Pinky Cole who could showcase their marriage. And then those become the marriages on the show. And then you have Portia, Phaedra, Drew, Cynthia, and Kelly who are not. Now, we will probably likely see Portia dating. We've seen a lot of her posting of her and her boo online. You've seen the Valentine's Day post. You've seen all of those things. So it's going to be very likely that we'll see a lot of that occurring on the show as well. The show does like to see the women dating, and we know that Phaedra, I mean, she didn't mind bringing Sheck around, but I don't know if her and Sheck was real for me. Like, it kind of just screamed they look good together, but they weren't really. You don't know. And listen, that's a good question too. I don't really know how much of the marriage that K Michelle will show, but we do know that she had a house down in Atlanta while she was filming, and we also know that, I mean, she's been showing him a lot more on, um, her Instagram, I feel like, if you follow her on Instagram. So and you know she did was it the marriage boot camp thing with him, I think it was? She did one of those marriage shows or something like that, one of those shows. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Um, so, you know, we'll see, we'll see. And it could be like a Shamia type situation where he only shows up when needed. You know, Gerald kind of really only showed up when I felt like was necessary for Shamia. But I mean, when he did show up, it was usually in a pretty big way. So I don't know as much about Pinky Cole, but I know that she does have a good story from what I'm hearing. So I would have to say I could see this happening to Kelly based on what we know about the 2 new additions. I don't think that we would get any details about the new additions until Bravo makes the official announcement. I would expect that to come this week or next week. My bet is this week because we're entering the final phase of the Potomac reunion, and we haven't, I mean, Bravo, I can see them needing some tea, some a trailer that's gonna jump, and that Atlanta trailer is gonna jump. I bet you. I bet you it's gonna jump. I bet you it's gonna jump. Um, hopefully she brings that B more down to the A. I'm interested. I love to see people who have like, and that's another thing too. When people, that's what I did like about Kelly. I like that Kelly also had the restaurants going. And that's also interesting too, because Pinky Cole also has her own restaurants. So now you've got the mixture of restaurant ladies, Kelly being one of them, and then Pinky being another. So that's also going to be interesting as well. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about that. It's probably going to freeze again. Am I frozen? Y'all let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if I'm frozen or not, or if it's all good in the hood. If it's frozen, I'm gonna bring up some graphics. Somebody let me know in the chat before we. Okay, Rob says I'm good. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Not frozen. All right, so let's talk about Belle Collective. This Belle Collective, we are on episode, what is this? Episode 2? Okay, you guys can see me great. We're on episode 2 of season 7? And I'm gonna go over the highlights of the episode. I this was pretty this was an interesting episode, okay? This was interesting. You had like this video if you haven't already liked it. Tap that like button. Let's get that engagement going. Yeah, Belle Collective, in my opinion, has been pretty good thus far. I've been enjoying this season. Last season felt a little slow to me, but this season, I feel like the action, I mean, we are moving. And I like that. I like that it's like the episode is like things are happening. If you didn't notice, there were literally 3 events in last night's episode. That is I mean, that's big for that show. That hopefully that means that it'll continue to move in that fashion. I liked seeing event after event after event. It felt like there was no wasted time last night. There was no conversation that felt like it lingered too long. So to me, this was the sweet spot on King the Rain people. Y'all, if y'all keep the episodes moving at this momentum, we will be hooked until the very end. I promise you. From what I understand, Shorty Black, we're gonna get more episodes this season, from what I understand. Okay, so that'll be good. We start off this episode with a continuation of Carrie's Poetic Justice Party, and it kind of goes exactly how I thought it would go. You had Letitia ending up telling Glenn that she does love him after kind of leaving him on a little standstill. I didn't really like the way he was trying to make her say that she loved him in front of everybody, and I guess that she didn't either. But there's a part of me that also feels like she is punishing him for, how he has made her feel. And I just don't feel like that is going to go well. But I also feel like he tried to put her on the spot purposefully to get her to say something that she really wasn't trying to do in front of the group. And then they end up having an intimate conversation in front of the group, and everybody's just kind of watching. I'm like, this is so awkward as y'all are trying to whisper about like whatever y'all got going on. Like, take it outside or actually just deal with it at home. Like, but this is something I would never advise anybody to do, like in the middle of a party, to stand in the middle of the floor and try to whisper these not so sweet nothings to each other as you guys try to figure out what is going on with your relationship. Okay. Take it outside. Next, Shantae, Letitia's friend, approaches Latrice about, girl, do you feel like you owe Letitia an apology? And Latrice is basically like, listen, girl, you are Letitia's friends. There's a lot of lies on this show. You are Letitia's friend. You are not my friend. I don't have to talk to you. In fact, you don't even go here. Okay. You are a friend to the show that she has brought around, and I don't need to answer to you in any way, shape, or form. So I don't even know why you are talking to me right now. Get up out of my facial. I was like, well, ooh, whoa, whoa, all righty. I ain't minded. I ain't minded. Normally I have an issue with people who basically try to not give a person no energy to kind of cut their time down. But in this situation, I kind of didn't mind it because it's kind of like you don't really have no business in this. And so you don't have a dog in this fight. So best let the bone go. Boom, boom, boom. So do I think that Letitia told her to do that? I don't think she did. I don't think that she did, but Latrice does not believe that. Latrice feels like Letitia basically hyped Shantae up to come and confront her. Yes, drop some love. Drop some love. I talk with my hands. I wish I didn't. I filmed me. Me and Monique filmed our Monique Samuels filmed our first 2 episodes of our podcast. And I am like this the entire time. Like, I'm like talking with my hands. And I looked at the playback. I was like, and meanwhile, she's just, because she's used to sitting in the confessional and not really doing much with her hands. And meanwhile, I'm like literally chop, 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 chop with my hand, like I'm about to reach into the camera like the girl from The Ring and reach through the screen. So I gotta watch that. So matter of fact, I'm gonna do this for I'm gonna do this for the time being until I can't stand it no more. Okay, so dun, 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 dun. Okay, yeah. So the next day, Letitia confronts Shantae, not to be confused with old Shantae, aka Soguchi. Um Tammy Roman hate to see me coming because she said don't be using those hands, right? But I can't help myself. Anyway, see, I did it again. Lord have mercy. Um Letitia had to get I remember Josh was Letitia had to get Shantae together and tell her not to do that. That's not how I move. I'm playing chess, not the checkers. So that kind of lends itself a little bit to what Latrice says about Letitia is that she claims that Letitia does stuff behind the scenes to try to make, I guess, fetch happen on the show. I guess that's really the premise that Latrice is upset about from what I'm gleaning from the show that's what Latrice believes. And Latrice also tells the girls, um, aka Selena and Mandy Girl, who is back on the scene with the gang Celine, when they go out to lunch, she tells them that Letitia has been trying to reach out to the old Goddess Link's employees like Josh or whatever like that. And apparently somebody else who Letitia wanted to allegedly do something and want some payment for whatever they were supposed to be doing. So I'm like, hmm. Um, again, I'd be thinking of So Gucci as well, Ashante. So I'm kind of like, this is very interesting, this feud between Letitia and Latrice, because I feel like it goes much deeper than the Mandy Girl of it all. It sounds like there is a through line of distrust for Letitia from Latrice. And based on Letitia, it is this idea that Mandy Girl was sent to try to destroy what Latrice and Glenn have going on. And as I was watching the show, I was thinking to myself, Glenn ended up blaming Cliff for Mandy Girl popping off about what they have been DMing allegedly. But why are you blaming Cliff, who in this week's episode is in Colombia? Okay. Apparently Colombia is where all the people go to find the girls or something like that. Um, I have not been to Colombia, so I cannot confirm any of these happenings. But I would very much like to go. I was actually supposed to go to Colombia earlier this month, but those plans fell through because there was something happening around in that region that I shan't speak about on this channel. So anyway, as I thought about it, I was like, Glenn, why are you blaming Cliff for Mandy Girl talking about all this? But you was the one, allegedly in the DMs. What? I mean, I don't believe that Cliff is in the goings on of this show. I just can't see it. I can't see him having a catching wind of, Mandy Girl is about to, expose Glenn and it's gonna go down at your party, and this is what we want you to do, Cliff. I just can't see Cliff working through that plan for some reason. I just don't see it. I don't. I don't see it. I don't see it. But anyway, as I thought about that, I was like, y'all blaming the Rogers for something some girl did. Granted, that girl was Latrice's friend, but that's also up to Glenn not to be giving no energy to people who are around the circle. It just don't. So that way you don't even have no energy misconstrued as nothing else as other than hey and bye, right? Smack to you says Carlos King said Latrice did not know about the question on the reunion. Right. So to me, I mean, some producer probably threw that question up in there based on the fact that Mandy Girl had been doing all of this talking about the DMs and stuff like that. I mean, it stands to reason. I mean, because otherwise, we've got to figure out some place to go with this information that this girl is telling us. And if nobody is really willing to bring it up, then we're gonna have to bring it up, and we're gonna have to make this thing come to life. Bottom line, okay. So I just feel like Letitia and Glenn's anger at the Rogers is a bit misplaced. If there is anything to be angry about, it could be that Letitia could be angry at Latrice for not telling her the moment it became known. But at that point, it seems like Latrice would be battling between two really, really good friends. One that she considers a sister but doesn't quite trust, and then one that she as actually her hairstyle, like the person that she works with to style her hair, for which we know that people love they glam people and they do not like to let them go. Like the glam people, y'all know, for a lot of y'all who may be going, you may have gone to that same hairstylist for years, and that hairstylist probably know all types of tea and business and whatnot and woo woo. So there's that. I mean, I don't know, it just seems that there's a deeper undercurrent of whatever is going on between Latrice and Letitia, and I just don't think that this surface level DMs with the Glenn is really the core of their issue. It sounds like there is some other level of distrust, right? Um, so we got some work to do with Latrice and Letitia, and it's not gonna get any better by the end of this episode because there's an event that is happening that is also Letitia is having a Friendsgiving brunch for which Latrice has decided not to come, but she has sent flowers by way of Tambra. Letitia feels like the flowers are the fakery and gotten from the Dollar Tree, and she says as much to all the girls. Meanwhile, the other thing that happens is that Carrie lets the girls know that she feels like she heard Marie tell her that her and Cedric were not together no more, but that is not in fact what Marie said. But Carrie was indeed right when she did tell the girls that they are no longer together. It just wasn't actually said by Marie, but Marie did tap dance all around it and pretty much confirm what Carrie was thinking. So thank you, Carrie, for spreading the tea that Marie was unwilling to spread. But Marie is thankful that the girls now know that her and that man are no longer together. I was gonna say something else, but I'm gonna save it because I don't think it's appropriate to say right now. Um, it's really about the Cedric of it all, but it has nothing to do with anything, and it was a random thought. And if we're not gonna see this man anymore, it's no need for me to say it. The next thing that I'm gonna say is we're gonna talk about the party. Essentially, Selena is having a 50th birthday party, and everybody is coming. Everybody's wearing all black. She's gonna be in red because she's the birthday girl. And her fiance Mike, gets up and he makes a speech about her. He gives her what it looks to me is a Tiffany necklace, but I only say that because the box looked like it was blue or light blue on my screen. But I am colorblind, so I do not always trust my own eyes. One of you could tell me if it was Tiffany or not, because I know some of y'all know about the jewelry and things of that nature. So tell me whether or not it was the Tiffany. Otherwise, it was just a level of blingery in the necklace. Um, all the girls do show up to this event, and Latrice is just gonna give a two-finger salute when she sees Glenn, and that's it. She's gonna keep it popping. She wants to pay the Pearsons and folks dust. Meanwhile, when Letitia does arrive, she arrives after Glenn, and when Glenn tries to kiss her, she ends up giving the Matrix. Like, whoa, watch those lips, watch those B words. Take those lips away. Keep those lips someplace else. We don't be kissing at home, and we are not going to kiss here. So I was like, all right then. Okay, well, let's go. I thought that Selena looked also really, really nice in the red. The red looked good on her. But she looked good in the blue too, now that I think about it, in her confessional. Um, looking at your comments. Yeah, she did turn into you better watch those B words. You can always quote Nene Leakes for something. It just for some reason it just works. Okay, so Selena then announces her wedding date April 4th, and she is going to have Tambra and Latrice be bridesmaids, but not Letitia. Letitia is asked in her confessional if she was surprised by that, and she says no. She's known her the longest, but they're not that close. I do wonder if maybe that was a little bit of a stinger right there. I respect the fact that Selena chose the people she's actually closest to. I think that makes a big difference when you are choosing people for your wedding. I think that is a huge you want you want the real people that are really, really in your life all the time. So I do kind of wish they both did not have the Bob because they were really given like Bob sisters, like the Bobbsey twins, Bob. Okay. So hopefully they will switch that up a bit in their confessionals. All right. So Selena wants to talk to the girls outside. They all go outside. Letitia says she wants to start first because she's trying to get the collective together. They're always trying to get the collective is never going to be together. Okay, it's just not. They're not. But good try, Selena. And Letitia tells Latrice straight up, I did not tell Shantae to come at you like that. I do want to apologize for that because that was not my intentions. And let me tell you something. One thing, whether you like Latrice or you don't like Latrice, the one thing that I can respect about a person on one of these shows is if they don't accept an apology when the socially acceptable thing to do would be to accept it, I have got to appreciate it because she says, you know what? I think that's BS. Okay. And let me tell you why. Because I know you've been trying to contact my employees behind my back. You tried to contact Josh, and I know you did it. And you can sit up here and say you did not, and you don't know him, but I know you do, and I know what you did. It did not matter what Letitia said. Letitia was like, I don't even know him like that. I don't even know his last name. I don't know what you're talking about. And the here's the thing. Now, I'm not saying that Letitia's lying. I am saying that whatever was told to Latrice, I believe she heard what she heard. Okay? It's just something about a person and they stance when they become completely immovable about a topic, I believe she heard that. Okay? Now again, I ain't saying Letitia did it. What I am saying is I believe Latrice was told this and felt for some reason that there was verifiable proof that she did not either need to mention or show, but believed with all of her heart. That is the way, that is the stance that she took. And for me, when I see somebody take that type of stance, they come across as real believable. I mean, again, she was unmovable, unflinching, unblinking, standing 10 toes down. And that's something that on a lot of these shows, you don't always get. And again, I love it when a person is right, wrong, or indifferent. They are not moving. Whether you like them or not, whether it's gonna make them more likable to the camera or not, that's just how they feel. I appreciate that. But baby, let me tell you something. When that B word came out, you better watch them B words. That was a heavy B. Okay. When you know it's real when somebody calls somebody a B and it ain't nothing but bass in the BI, baby. Let me tell you something. I knew in that moment that it was going all heck was gonna break loose. It's when you say a word in a certain type of way and it comes from the gut. I said, and that edit that edit didn't help. Y'all some y'all some good ones on that edit, baby. That edit was like beat, 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 beat. And I was like, oh no. And at that point, Letitia get the rolling up and it's on. Okay. It is on from there. I thought I was going to be overly annoyed with this beef between Latrice and Letitia because, sometimes you can be when a beef goes kind of on further than you think it should. But to be quite honest with you, I am actually amused. I know I shouldn't be, but I'm amused. But something about this has me tickled, and I should not be. I readily admit that. Okay, before you come over here and judge me, I readily admit I am in the wrong. Okay, I'm under no illusions about me being right or me being or taking a righteous stance. I am amused. And I readily admit that. I hate to say it. I am amused. Okay. So I want to see where it goes. Eventually I would like for them to be able to get on one accord, but we can take about 5 more episodes until I need some more twists and turns. Now, if if y'all gonna throw in some twists and turns, Carlos and the people, if y'all throwing some twists and turns, then giddy up. Giddy up. Okay, I'm with it. But with that being said, y'all, that was another episode of Belle Collective. Make sure you guys are tapped in and tuned into that every Friday night on the OWN. Like I said, y'all, oh my God, like, let me tell you, let me tell you, baby, baby. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Let me see something real quick. Let me see how many spots we got left. All right, we still got the one more spot left. So look, if you ain't booked for this trip, I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, we got the one more spot left. Who is bite to get it? Who about to get it? Who is about to get it? Who is that one last spot gonna go to? That's what I want to know. Cause this trip is gonna be fun. And honestly, I kind of want to know if I'm gonna need to like do another week. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I need to do another week. Hmm. Mm. All right, y'all. So listen, I am about to call it a day. I got some things to do, some errands to run. Thank you guys for tuning in and tapping in. And I will, of course, catch you in the next video.